The scripture tells us in Timothy to have a disciplined mind. You can't watch every imagination that comes up. Your mind will naturally gravitate toward the negative. If you're not disciplined and you let that play, you'll go around worried, stressed out. What's the answer? Change the channel. You can create new pictures in your mind. Start seeing your business taking off, seeing new customers finding you, seeing opportunities chasing you down. If you're struggling with an illness, like my mom, those negative imaginations will come. You'll see yourself going downhill, not able to go back to work. Be disciplined in your thought life. When you're facing a physical battle, you need all of your energy to go toward you getting well. When you're watching negative imaginations, that's taking your strength, draining your energy, making you weaker. Put up some new pictures. Start seeing yourself strong and healthy. See yourself out exercising, full of energy. See yourself living a long, blessed life. If you'll use your imagination the right way, it will help you stay hopeful and to believe that God can turn it around.
The minute you were born, it got risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying.
You get to pick your damn sacrifice. That's all. You don't get to not make one. You're sacrificial whether you want to be or not.
The most important thing is this: to be able at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you will become.
Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. The ability to discipline yourself to delay gratification in the short term in order to enjoy greater rewards in the long term is the indispensable prerequisite for success. Self-discipline is not an easy path, but it is a necessary one. It requires making sacrifices, staying focused, and persisting even when faced with challenges. Self-discipline is the magic power that makes you virtually unstoppable. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even if you don't want to do it. Without discipline in your life, you can be pushed to the brink that might leave you exhausted, helpless, and stressed. This is completely avoidable by taking a few small steps on a regular basis towards an organized lifestyle. Self-discipline is often disguised as short-term pain, which often leads to long-term gains. The mistake many of us make is the need and want for short-term gains, which often leads to long-term pain. A self-disciplined person makes optimum use of the time. Hence, he can achieve more and do more work as compared to a person who is not self-disciplined. With self-discipline, most anything is possible. It is this inherent strength that propels us forward, enabling us to conquer challenges and achieve the extraordinary.
That's the key word: discipline, self-discipline. We might add one more word here: consistent. Consistent self-discipline. It doesn't really matter how smart you are or how much you know if you don't use it.
Put the best plan you have into practice. It's not going to be perfect, and it will change along the way. But it will change partly because you become disciplined pursuing the path. And as you become disciplined, you become wiser. And as you become wiser, you become able to formulate better and better plans.
I'm going to say it again because you might have missed it. All men are created equal. Some work harder in preseason. So that means that there are some people who are going to see the professor, going to see the TA. And even when the professor says, I don't meet with you, my TA meet with you, you say, I don't want to talk to your TA.
That's what it is.
Pain is an unavoidable part of our human journey, but its duration is often fleeting. However, when we succumb to the allure of excuses, we inadvertently burden ourselves with that pain. We carry it into the following day, and the cycle continues, extending into the weeks, months, and even years. Some of us, tragically, carry it until our last breath. Out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls. The most massive characters are seared with scars. Our scars tell stories of courage, perseverance, and the indomitable human spirit. You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter the defeats until you can know who you are, what you can rise from, how you can still come out of it. It is through the fire of suffering that we discover our inner light, illuminating the path to our true purpose and potential. So, embrace your pain, for it is through the darkest moments that we find the strength to rise, the wisdom to endure, and the power to become the best version of ourselves. As we journey towards our goals, we must embrace the challenges and obstacles that come our way, for it is through these trials that we grow, learn, and ultimately succeed.
These are the best of times, and these are the worst of times. We're here to instruct, we're here to grow, we're here to learn, we're here to get the best we possibly can. Serious. Life is serious. The future is serious. Best of times and the worst of times. That's called serious matter.
You too. And there's going to be a fair bit of pain along the way, and lots of it's going to be unfair. It's like, yeah, no wonder you're resentful. It's like, act it out and see what happens. You make everything you're complaining about infinitely worse.
It's going to be a dog fight. For those of you watching my videos on the road to success, I lost 5 aunts to cancer. It's a dog fight. In the midst of my business, I lost aunts. I had to go to funerals. We had to get on a plane. We had to drive. We had aunts that are close to my age who died, who didn't have insurance. We had to raise money. A dog fight.
Goals and dreams are the guiding stars that illuminate our path to a fulfilling life. They inspire us, drive us forward, and fuel our relentless pursuit of excellence. Our dreams push us to aim high, to stretch beyond our comfort zones, and to never settle for mediocrity. They remind us that anything is possible if we have the audacity to believe and the courage to take action. Our dreams possess the power to shape our future, to transform our lives, and to leave an indelible mark on the world. So, let us dare to dream big, to set audacious goals, and to live with unwavering faith in our ability to achieve greatness. Our goals can only be reached through a vehicle of a plan, in which we must fervently believe, and upon which we must vigorously act. There is no other route to success. Life undoubtedly presents challenges in pursuing our dreams, but in this situation, one gives up or continues to work towards them despite obstacles. It's not easy, but it's certainly not impossible. When you dream, you have to put it into action, sweat, and blood. Opportunities do not always knock at our doorsteps daily. We tend to miss many opportunities in life just because we don't have the courage to do things. Every time you leave things for tomorrow and say you will start over from tomorrow, that day will never come, which is why you need to start now.
I think the best thing you can do with regards to your conscientiousness is to set up some aims for yourself, goals that you actually value. And the Future Authoring Program helps people do that. And basically, it does a situational analysis of, it helps you do a situational analysis of your life.
I'm still going to get you where they are. Why? Because I owe it to myself. And can't nobody stop me but me. And you need to get rid of them excuses. And you need to stop pointing fingers at people. And you need to start pointing fingers at yourself. What did you not do?
In the tapestry of life, success is not merely a destination, but a profound journey. It is a journey that requires unwavering self-discipline, a clear vision through goal setting, and the resilience to persevere through challenging times. The path to success is not always easy, but it is through the relentless pursuit of these 3 pillars that we unlock our true potential, achieve remarkable feats, and leave a lasting legacy. Through self-discipline, we stay committed to our path, making conscious choices that align with our long-term goals. Let us embrace self-discipline, set audacious goals, and view hardships as opportunities for growth, because what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Within us lies the power to overcome, to achieve, and to create a life of profound success. If you find the video uplifting, don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.
So you found out that the secret sauce in your life is the guy in your mirror. that it's not some outside variable that's going to come and save you. The cavalry's not coming. It's up to you, baby. Get up off the couch. I got to go leave the cave, kill something, and drag it home. You found that truth in that moment.
You all meet minimum requirements. You all meet minimum requirements. So whatever it is you want to do, I'm not going to say that it's going to be easy for you because you're ultra smart or something. You probably aren't. But everyone that I've encountered here, literally, without exception, every single person that has come up to me and said something, you meet minimum requirements. Even you awkward motherfuckers that have a hard time, like making eye contact. Even you guys, I'm telling you right now, you've got some shit you're going to have to deal with, but you meet minimum requirements. Now, minimum requirements for what? For whatever you want. Now, that sounds great. Right? But all I've actually said is now, if you don't make it, it's on you. And that's it. There's nobody else to blame. Everything is your fault. Everything. The good stuff in your life, that's on you. You did that.
Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, but it's necessary. It's necessary that you have it, that you work on it, that you develop yourself, that you go for what is yours in the universe.
You either put yourself in a position to deserve it, to be around people that want to help, to take care of you. Luck came by, you were able to capitalize on it. Luck's like a bus, another one's coming. But will you have the fare to get on? And maybe that's it. Maybe you just got really lucky. But you had the fare to get on the bus. And that's on you. So you should be very proud of the things that you have in your life.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
But all the things in your life that aren't to your satisfaction, those are all your fault. Your life is the exact reflection of the choices you have made. Love your life? Great, you've made awesome choices. Hate your life? I'm sorry. You've made bad choices. But the good news is, you're in control because I choose not to ever be a victim.
Don't become a victim of yourself, even if you have to fight the enemies that are within yourself. Forget the thief in the alley that's after your purse. What about the thief in your mind that's after your promise?
I cannot choose whether I'm victimized, but I have the ability to say, I will never be a victim.
You get yourself in a state of certainty that this is going to work. I'm going to find the way. And if this doesn't work, I will make the way. Then you tap a lot more potential. And when you're certain in your potential, you take massive action. When you take massive action, you really believe in something, you get great results. When you get great results, your brain goes, see, I told you I was a stud. I told you this thing would work out. Now you're even stronger. You tap more potential, take greater action, greater results.
The indomitable will, if you have a belief, you can do something. The only way you grow that, like in the gym, you grow your muscles by actually exercising. To grow the individual will to become something, you must get comfortable with fear and failure. They must be your best friends. They're the only one that moves that needle of life. Every hero you guys had was called an idiot, crazy, a loser. You must break society's status quo. Status quo is normality. It's alive but not living. It's death on a stick, guys. The belief of the individual overrides thousands of people with just intent. Safety, comfort zones are dead zones. You have to continue to push yourself because your true potential will never be matched, guys.
Every day I demand more from myself than anybody else could humanly expect. I'm not competing with somebody else. I'm competing with what I'm capable of. My number one competition is me. It's always you versus you. You got to be the one to get up every morning, be disciplined, put in the consistent daily hard work, because that gains success. No coach, no trainer, no mentor, no boss can do it. You versus you.
See, you can do anything. You can get up any hour, read any book, take any class, make any change, develop any skill, do any discipline. I mean, you can do it all. When this how and the why, or when the why starts to grow, the how gets simple.
You gotta be willing to go after your stuff. You gotta be willing to go after whatever has got your name on it. Sometimes you gotta fight your way over. Sometimes you gotta fight your way through. Sometimes you gotta look in the mirror and say, listen, I ain't got nobody else to encourage us right now. It's just me and you. But I'm telling you, you're the head and not the tail. And I'm fighting for me, on my house, on my children, on my brothers, on my sisters, on my husband, on my vision, on my dream. I'm gonna stand right here, and I ain't giving up my children. I'm not giving up my money. No, I'm standing. You can't keep quitting your whole life. You can't keep backing up, and you can't keep fading, taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. After a while, there ought to be something in our lives that we stand through. Sicknesses that you stood through, struggles that you stood through, weaknesses that you stood through, crises that you stood through, pressures that you stood through. That is where character is developed. That's what defines our destiny when you are in the middle of transition.
So soon. So you've started something new. Maybe it's working out. Maybe it's trying to eat healthier. Maybe it's a side hustle you're hoping will change your life. You've been at it. What, 2 days? Maybe a week? And you're already wondering where the results are. You're feeling frustrated, discouraged, and this voice in the back of your head is whispering, maybe this just isn't for you. Sound familiar? Here's the hard truth. And that mindset, that expectation that things should just happen without grit, without setbacks, that's what's killing your dreams. Think about it. We're programmed to crave quick wins, the high of instant success. But what happens when you start something that requires actual slow burn work? When you put in a full week at the gym, sweat pouring down your face, and step on the scale just to see it hasn't budged. When you launch a business and no one cares, that high you're so used to, it isn't there. And it's in that exact moment that most people quit. Let's be real. Nobody posts about the weeks, months, or years of silence before the applause. No one tells you about the early mornings where they questioned everything. You only see the before and after photos, the victory moments, the celebrations. But here's the truth. That success isn't built on those highs. It's built on a million quiet moments of discipline and doubt. And if you're constantly jumping from one thing to the next, chasing that high, you're never going to reach what you actually want. The people who succeed, they understand that delayed gratification is part of the game. They've trained themselves to see the journey, the grind, the failures as stepping stones. And when you're patient, you start to realize that every single step matters, even the ones that feel like they're getting you nowhere. If you're serious about growth, here's what you need to understand. The process isn't glamorous. There's no quick fix. Every single day isn't going to feel like progress. In fact, a lot of the time, it's going to feel like you're hitting a wall, like you're running in circles, like you're never going to break through. That's normal. The path to anything worthwhile isn't straight. It's full of curves, dead ends, and long stretches that look like you're standing still. If you want real change, you have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. You have to learn to love the struggle, not the results, not the reward, but the day-to-day work that no one else sees. It's waking up early when you'd rather sleep in. It's hitting the gym when your body is telling you to stay on the couch. It's saving money when you'd rather splurge. The magic is in those unremarkable, thankless moments when you choose to keep going. Here's what they don't tell you. Patience isn't just waiting. Patience is doing the work and believing that the results will come, even when you can't see them yet. It's learning to trust that every tiny action, every effort, every drop of sweat and sacrifice is building something incredible inside you. Because growth doesn't always look like progress. It often feels like frustration, like pushing against something that won't budge. And when you reach that point, that's the signal most people miss. It's the sign that you're close. Every journey has a plateau. That infuriating, gut-wrenching period where it feels like all your work is going nowhere. And if you're not prepared for it, if you don't expect it, you're going to hit that wall and turn back. You'll tell yourself it's impossible, that you've reached your limit. But let me tell you something about plateaus. They're not the end of the journey. They're a test. When you hit a plateau, that's the moment your body, your mind, and your spirit are asking you, how bad do you really want this? Are you willing to push harder? Are you willing to be patient with the process, even when it seems like the needle isn't moving? Because if you can push past that wall, if you can outlast the plateau, that's where the magic happens. That's where real growth begins. Think about the people who inspire you, the athletes, the artists, the entrepreneurs. Do you think they never hit walls? Of course they did, but they didn't stop there. They kept going, sometimes with nothing but faith that things would eventually pay off. They understood that hitting a plateau wasn't a sign they should quit. It was proof they were moving in the right direction. And guess what? When you push past that plateau, not only will you feel stronger, but you'll become someone who can handle so much more. The next challenge? The next wall? It won't look half as daunting because you've been through it before. And each time you refuse to quit, you're proving to yourself that you can handle whatever life throws at you. If there's one thing you take away from this, let it be this. Results don't come to the people who start. They come to the people who keep going. The people who understand that every journey has setbacks, frustrations, and moments that feel like you're wasting your time. But each day, you choose not to quit. You're putting yourself miles ahead of the person who never even started. You're building the resilience, the grit, and the patience that most people lack. So next time you feel like quitting, remember this, the fact that it's hard, the fact that it's taking time, the fact that you're not seeing results immediately. That's exactly what makes it worth it. Because if it was easy, everyone would do it. But you're not everyone. You're someone who's willing to stay the course, to ride out the struggles, and to prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever thought possible. And one day, whether it's a month from now, a year from now, or a decade, you'll look back on these moments and realize this is where your story began. This is where you learned what you're made of. So don't give up. Don't stop. The only thing standing between you and success is time, patience, and your willingness to keep going. Thank you for being here. And if this resonated with you, if this lit that fire inside you, make sure to stick around. Because this isn't the end. It's just the beginning. Keep pushing, keep fighting. And remember, the greatest things in life don't come to those who want them now. They come to those who are willing to wait.
Do you know how much you've been through though? And you still made it? Like you've won battles that no one will ever know about. So you have to just stop being so hard on yourself. Take a step back for a second and acknowledge how much you've actually done, how much you've overcome in your life. You're stronger than you give yourself credit for. So just take a second to be proud of yourself and your courage to just keep pushing on.
Hey, listen, what you have to understand is that nobody owes you anything at all. It's a choice. The world, friends, family, loved ones, they don't owe you anything. But the only person that owes yourself something is yourself. You owe yourself everything.
The pushback you are getting is the indicator that you are doing the right thing. It is. And if you can reframe the distaste that you get from other people as the same as that.
Because they're projecting the things that they know they should be doing that you are doing that they're not doing. And you remind them of that. And so even though the mountain that you're climbing is actually a smaller one than the one that you ultimately want to climb, you're actually at the top of their mountain. On the way up, they root for you. And then when you're at the top, they try and tear you down because you remind them of the dreams that they couldn't accomplish. You might be at the top of their mountain. And so they are tearing you down because now you remind them that they haven't done it. And it's purely a projection of them onto you and has nothing to do with you. I hope that comforts someone. Every single person who wants to do something with their life and has done something with their life has gone through the exact chapter that you're going through. And it's the lonely chapter.
You value yourself, others will value you too. When you believe in yourself, the world believes in you too. When you are kind to yourself, kindness surrounds you too. When you love yourself, love finds you too. When you express gratitude, the universe responds with abundance too.
If you are arguing against your own God-given potential, you are actively destroying your confidence. You're actively destroying possibility in your life. And here's the thing. You freaking know it. People know when they have imposter syndrome. And I also hate the term fake it till you make it. And here's why. When you say, I'm just going to fake it till you make it, you are calling yourself a fake. It amplifies your self-doubt. Instead, say this, I'm going to get on the court and try until I make it. Because the pain of sitting in the stands and never getting down there is way greater than tripping on the court.
You're losing yourself. The distractions come at a cost. And if you can't put your phone down for 10 minutes and exist with yourself, you have a problem. Stare at the wall and you might actually learn something, because the questions you undeniably have about your own life can no longer be pushed away by the noise. The most successful people in this world are the least bit distracted from what's going on with them. And the people that'll never know success and fulfillment define their life by distractions, knowing that is a free pass to a better life. But it's only free if you sit with your questions and search for the answers.
Progress doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It's built on days when you'd rather stay in bed. It's choosing to move forward even when you're tired, frustrated, or unsure. It's okay to be unmotivated, but don't let it stop you. Because every time you take action when your mind is telling you otherwise, you're proving to yourself that you want it as bad as you say you do.
Because a lot of people go into growth with this idea of perfection. And right there, you're setting yourself up for failure. Perfection equals failure. Progression equals growth. Remember that. Perfection equals failure. Progression equals growth. And with progression, you're going to make mistakes. With progression, you're going to have bad days, but through it all, you're moving forward. With perfection, when you have a bad day, you stay stuck there. With perfection, when you make a mistake, you stay stuck there. Right? And so it stunts your growth.
If you're going through a really hard time, it's the truth about life. That the dark days eventually pass and clear away and the sun comes back. And so whatever you're going through, know that this is temporary and that soon the sun is going to come out again. And I want to just show you this because the storm clouds always pass and the sun always comes out. And I love that saying that right before the dawn, that's when it's darkest. So just keep reminding yourself, whatever you're going through, better days are coming.
I know who I am. Like losing, you find out who you are. And losing sucks, but in those moments, like when you're down, it's a great time to experience you. You know, cause like when you're winning, you can get this momentum. When everything's going good, you can kind of get in that groove where you're just on cruise control, you know? But when you lose and the phone stops ringing and you're at home laying in bed going to sleep by yourself and everything, the dust settles, you know, that's when you experience yourself, who you really are.
To be able to find what's right for you,
you're going to have to let go of what's right for everyone else. They might say you're going the wrong way, but you have to know that you're going your right way.
When people say that life has no meaning, that isn't what they mean. What they mean is, I'm suffering stupidly and intensely, and I don't know what to do about it. Well, the suffering is meaningful. It's just not the kind of meaning you want. So how do you get out of that? You note the baseline of suffering, which is very, 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 very high. And then you say to yourself, okay, I need to do something that justifies that.
On your quest to find your purpose, you have to be willing to find your truth. We start this life with programs that are just imparted on us without our knowing or without our consent, whether it's through our parents, our friends, our family, the things we watch on TV, the music that we listen to. You're in a constant state of being programmed. And in that, we tend to lose who we truly are. And so in your journey of trying to figure out what is your purpose, why are you here, you have to go on the quest for finding your authentic truth.
There was the switch to the next year. Many people always have their new plans and new ideas. I would suggest that everyone takes a personal, small retreat and really ask yourself that question. What is it essentially that you are looking for living this life? How much of where you want to go did you achieve already? And also, are you actually still finding yourself on the way to wherever you wanted to go?
Your life will change when you take ownership of your choices. Every outcome you're living today stems from decisions you made yesterday. Want different results? Make different choices. Choose discipline over laziness, commitment over excuses, and purpose over convenience. Decide today to do one thing that pulls you closer to the life that you want. Break the cycle. Raise your standards. Your future depends on your next move. So make it count.
But sometimes you have to go beyond what you're feeling. Okay, this hurts, that hurts. We can just sit down and do nothing. Or we can see how far we can push the human body.
In your life, in any given moment, the strongest dream in that moment wins that moment.
If you want something bad enough, there is no excuse in the world that will stop you from achieving it. If you want something bad enough, there is no life circumstance that is going to hold you back. If you want something bad enough, nothing short of death can stop you.
If you dread your day, that's an opportunity to take a look at your life. You were not put on this planet to wake up and dread your day. There are things about your life you need to change. Might mean that you got to change your job. Might mean that you got to have a hard conversation that you've been avoiding. Why? Because you dread it. And I guarantee you, if you go through your day and you list all of the things that you dread about your day, you'll notice that there's lots of places where you have braced in small ways and where you think this is just what it is and there's nothing you can do about it. And the truth is, you're not stuck anywhere. You're not stuck in a relationship. You are not stuck in a dynamic with your family. You are not stuck in a job. You are not stuck with your mindset. You as a human being are hardwired to change. I think that moment where you wake up and dread the day you're waking up into is one of the greatest gifts that your life can give you, because it's a gigantic wake up call that there are things that are not working. And it is time that you wake the hell up.
How true it was when Goethe wrote, "As soon as you trust yourself, you will know how to live." Magic is believing in yourself. If you can do that, you can make anything happen. If you treat an individual as he is, he will remain how he is. But if you treat him as if he were what he ought to be and could be, he will become what he ought to be and could be.
I don't like seeing you like this at all. This ain't you. This ain't you. I don't like seeing you like this. Pick your head up. Move forward with laughter, joy, enthusiasm, passion for why you're here.
Big enemy is the comfort zone. The comfort zone is where people become comfortable doing what they're doing and they don't like to change. 80% of the population finds reasons not to change, even if the change can be positive or beneficial. The second thing that holds people back is what is called learned helplessness. This is where people feel, I can't do it. And the third enemy is what we call the path of least resistance, which is always looking for an easy way to achieve a result. But nothing worthwhile can be achieved easily.
When you're waking up every morning by yourself and you're fucking getting after it by yourself, and it's the hidden work, all those mornings that you don't want to fucking get up, and I look at it as like a rock, and you find this fucking rock, and that rock is you. And every day you fight not wanting to get up, and you do anyway. You chip another piece off that fucking rock, and every day you fucking eat the right foods, and every day you go to train, and you train harder and harder and harder and harder, and you get up earlier, and all these things you do to start forming yourself. You're chipping another fucking piece of that rock up. Before you know it, you have this beautiful fucking piece of artwork that you built.
I want you today to decide, I am going to become disciplined. That should be your only fucking goal. Because if you develop the ability to say no to the guys' nights and the girls' nights, to say no to the alcohol, if you develop that discipline, how different will your life look a year from now?
The best way to contend with problems, with issues, with adversity is action, is by taking action. The more you sit and the more you wait and the more time you spend with that adversity, with the upper hand inside your head, the worse it's going to get. Something doesn't go the way you wanted it to go. You didn't get the job you wanted. You didn't get the hire. You didn't get the promotion. You can go home and sit there and dwell on it. That's not getting you any progress. Or you say, okay, you know what? We do a quick analysis. Why didn't I get that promotion? Oh, it's because I didn't get this qualification or I hadn't jumped through this gate. Okay, cool. Let me look into how do I get to jump through that gate so next time I will get the promotion. And you start taking action.